In Robert Kiyosaki's book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, we hear of a young boy who effectively has two father figures. One is very well educated and the other barely completed school. Both fathers earn a really good income, however, one dad continues to struggle financially. The biggest issue is that practical financial literacy and education is not taught in schools, and therefore kids develop a relationship with money that's heavily influenced by their parents. The problem here is that if a child's parents are not already financially independent, then their unhealthy relationship and lack of financial literacy is passed on to the kids, continuing the ineffective cycle of being a slave to the paycheck. Most people don't even know what they don't know, oblivious that there are different ways of doing things, which is where this book comes in. Chapter 1. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. If you expect to achieve financial freedom and abundance, then fundamentally you need to change your way of thinking. Instead of saying, "I can't afford this," and stopping yourself from taking action, instead you should change your language and ask, "How can I afford this?" Because this quality question inspires and motivates you to become more resourceful. Robert Kiyosaki tells us that to become rich, you need to develop financial skills and communication skills. A common mistake is that people focus on making money instead of focusing on education. If you know more, you can do more. Chapter 2. The rich don't work for money. There are times throughout your life that you may be broke, but you are only ever poor when you give up. Action is better than inaction, and already you're in the top percentile if you stop talking about becoming rich and actually start taking action to make it happen. Life does get tough for everyone from time to time. Some people give up when they face adversity, they retreat to their comfort zones, they're terrified of taking risks, they wait for other things to change, and end up being a slave to money and their job. But then there are people who recognize that when facing adversity, that it's themselves that needs to change. They actively seek out the hidden lessons in what's happening to help them grow wise and wealthy and move on with life. Having a job is a short-term solution, making money each week or month as long as you turn up, to a long-term problem, to live a financially free and abundant life. Chapter 3. Why teach financial literacy? Money doesn't solve problems. It's education and resourcefulness that solves problems. The number one rule is to understand the difference between an asset and a liability. An asset puts money in your pocket, whereas a liability takes money out of your pocket. The rich buy income-generating assets. Humans are a herd mentality animal. We each have this tendency to follow the crowd, conform to the status quo, and fear standing out and being different. But what if the majority of the herd have it wrong? The rich look for opportunities, knowing that the greatest losses are from missed opportunities. Chapter 4. Mind your own business. If you want to financially struggle for the rest of your life, you should work for someone else, because employees generally do the least amount not to get fired, whilst employers pay the workers just enough for them not to quit. There's a big difference between a profession and a business. Rich people focus on accumulating assets. Poor people focus on accumulating income. The problem with focusing on income is that as your income grows, so does your taxes, and in most cases, so does your expenses. The goal should be to create a business that doesn't require your presence. Chapter 5. The history of taxes and the power of corporations. Learning how to produce money and multiply it using the power of an effective legal structure is what gives rich people the advantage. As an individual, you get paid, and then you pay your taxes, and then you pay your expenses. However, as a business, first you get paid, then you pay your expenses, and then you get taxed. Your goal should be to develop better financial IQ in 4 areas. Number 1, your ability to read and understand financial statements to identify strengths and weaknesses. Number 2, investing using the science of making money. Number 3, understand markets that are driven by both emotions and those that logically make sense. And number 4, the law and how to give yourself the advantage on taxes and legal standings. Chapter 6, the rich invent money. Everyone has the potential to be rich. However, what holds most people back is their self-doubt and a lack of confidence. It's rarely the steps or the system that people need. It's almost always that their psychology stops them from taking action. The mindset shift that is needed is to become more excited by making millions than the worry of the next pay rise. Rich people know that they create their own luck. They take calculated risks and take bold action in spite of fear and uncertainty. Your goals should be to identify the opportunity of a lifetime when it shows up by being the right person when the right moment occurs. Everyone learns to walk by falling down, and the same is true to being successful. Failure is a part of the success journey. People who win in life are not afraid of failure. Instead, they embrace it and learn from it. People who lose in life hold back because they're afraid of losing, which means that they've already lost. In terms of great opportunities, there are 2 types of investors. Number 1, those who buy packaged up retail investments from brokers, financial planners, and real estate agents. And 2, there are those who create opportunities for themselves, such as assembling deals and who have the skills to raise money or find gaps in the market, and those who can organize smart people into a team. Chapter 7, work to learn, don't work for money. Poor dad has a job, a job, just over broke, and he's focused on job security and playing it safe. Rich dad values knowledge over money and learns to develop 3 core management skills. Number 1, the management of cash flow. Number 2, the management of systems and one's own time and energy. Number 3, the management of people. Rich Dad also knows that highly understated and often avoided skill set of being great at selling and marketing is crucial to business success. It's the poor, talented people who focus too much on their product and not enough on their systems. Far too many people with world-changing products and services have failed because they didn't focus on the system of marketing and selling. Chapter 8, overcoming obstacles. There are 5 common reasons why people won't achieve financial freedom and abundance. Obstacle number 1, fear. The fear of losing money, fear of failure, fear of stepping away from the herd just stops them from taking action. Obstacle number 2, cynicism. People that listen to the self-doubt, they hesitate or they fail to act, missing out on great opportunities because they criticize too much rather than analyzing. Obstacle number 3, laziness. Look, people justify laziness by telling themselves, I can't do this, I can't afford it, rather than looking for the possibilities by asking, how can I afford this? What do I need to do to make this happen? You have to have a big emotional reason for doing something to motivate you out of that laziness. Obstacle number 4, bad habits. Socially, we're conditioned to get a job, pay your taxes, and hope you have enough money afterwards to do the things you want. This is a bad habit. Instead, you should pay yourself first, then pay your taxes and creditors last, because the added pressure to find the extra money will make you mentally and fiscally stronger. Obstacle number 5, arrogance. When you combine ego with ignorance, you get arrogance. Some people think they know everything they need to know. Their bank balance will be the true reflection of this. Arrogant people believe that what they don't know isn't important. So instead, be humble and consider all new possibilities. Be open to the hard, cold truth of your bank account and lifestyle. Chapter number 9, getting started. There are 10 steps to developing your financial genius. Number 1, the power of spirit. Have a reason to take action that is greater than the reality by being clear on your emotionally charged long-term vision. Step number 2, the power of choice. You always have a choice, whether you choose to think that working on your financial freedom is too much of a hassle, or whether investing in your education is worthwhile. Your financial success is always based upon your choices. Step number 3, The power of association. Choose your friends carefully because you will be influenced by them. Don't listen to poor or frightened people. Instead, seek out people that know more than you, who do more than you, and who can hold you to a higher standard. Step number 4, the power of learning quickly. Focus on one area of learning, master it, and then move on to another area. Remember, you become what you study. Step number 5, the power of self-discipline. Pay yourself first. Develop emotional control and fortitude, and stay the course. Step number 6, the power of good advice. Pay your money-making advisors really well because they give you access to even more opportunities in the future. Step number 7, the power of getting something for nothing. When buying an asset, always ask, how fast can I get my money back? Step number 8, the power of focus. Avoid distractions and temptations and focus on making money work for you. Use your desire to consume to fuel your motivation to develop your financial genius. Step number 9, the power of myth. Use the identity of role models to initiate power learning by emulating what they would do. Step number 10, the power of giving. If you want something, first learn to give it. Be generous with what you have, and the powers will be generous back to you. Chapter number 10. Still want more? Look, the next steps are to assess what's working for you and what's not working for you. Consider new investing ideas and take immediate action. Look for someone to model and emulate to increase your likelihood of achieving the success you want, and keep learning about financial literacy. If you'd like to develop your financial literacy even more, go check out www.makemoneymultiply.com. Thanks for watching.